All right, so, geez Louise, how am I supposed to do this? All right, visual verification. All right, this is called an overlay. What I'm going to do is it's a manual trick. It's basically like if you go back to the deck or audio engineering, it's just you add another layer to the track. So just think of my most recent one, which hopefully it won't crash. I'm doing too much with my phone. Videos uploading, so move that. This one, the November 2nd, not this one that's being processed, but this one. That one was from my Pornhub account, which is safe for work, but there's ethics things that had stopped that project along the way, but I'm going to do the body transformation using that server. So, because I'm going to show, sorry, my nose is all messed up. Anyways, it's to come. It'll happen. So November 2nd, this one that is 28 minutes, which technically I just weighed in today. It was 284.6, so I'm a little off on what and with YouTube, they add a second in this little screen, so it's actually 53, which is 5. So, but anyways, this is an overlay. It's a stacked progression. So the original recording is here, and I've already done overlays in the original recording, but we're adding a new dimension to this and see how it clocks up. So that way you understand how I work my timing. I constantly listen to myself and then fall to the cadence of the audio recording that I'm listening to, and then I match it up with my outside persona, which is technically my prior self, unknowing. So it's just a trust your gut experience where you're just talking things through. And then as you listen to it, you find out where the gaps or holes in the logic are, but you show appreciation in oneself by remembering where you were, all the details as you're listening to it in that next moment. And then you're overlaying the new and trying to find the bridge connections. So technically, in a very analog state, you are speaking to your prior self and being able to figure out the resolves of the holes in the logic. So this is a 47-minute video. I may walk around. The phone may die. There may be so much what ifs. So I'm going to just make sure. Yeah, I hit record already. Yeah, that was awesome. All right, so, and that needs to be addressed too. It's like when you get so excited in the moment sometimes and you're processing and you're like, this is cool. I've never knew I could understand this part of aspect of life like that. And this sort of makes sense. And it's almost as if like I'm sharpening my skill set. So that way my vocal tones and my ideology and what I want out of life is being clarified to a point that people can finally understand what I'm saying. Even though this process tends to build up a resonance of other people's conversations, illogics that weren't properly defined to you, and it starts flowing out of your mouth. So, and then you have to become vigilant. You got to be 100% in, and then fight auto processing. So there's a fine line. So, but that's basically where I'm at. I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. That's been uploaded. We'll go hidden epoch time just for clarification, and we're going to get out of this app. And that's one that stays open. Okay, so I'm not going to pause it. Closed out, and that's going to show up because I didn't. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to just X out of that, and then we got epoch time. So I already set myself up. All right. So it is. Let me just verify. 12:28. We're synced. at the epoch time, that's the epoch time. Now my screen is cracked, and that's the reason why I keep getting flagged. I can't read anything on my screen, and I don't have a laptop readily available to review and then change the default settings of my whatever. So YouTube is not deleting my content because I'm literally, the tools I have don't allow me to address the situation. So first and foremost, my personal belief, and I understand there's this one that was most recently removed because of wording. Which I understand is that auto processing. Like, if you're putting words together in that sort of manner on a repetitive basis, but hey, what are you doing? Do you not hear the phrasing? So I'm very understanding of what phrasing is in that aspect. But I was dealing with trauma. The whole conversation was about trauma. So maybe there's some past experience that was coming forth, and they're trying to protect me. But this whole thing is supposed to be a learning experience. That's what it comes down to. And I guess YouTube is saying there's a little, we can't handle that much honesty. So I'm going to have to then upload it. I'll do it that way to Pornhub. And it's a safe for work, which means it's an audio. No, it was a video. I had written it out. And then anytime something gets deleted from YouTube or flagged, I'll just go ahead and post it over. So this is my verbal verification to both companies what I'm doing. I'm making a vigilant thing. I'm not trying to mess your stuff up. I'm just trying to explain to everyone. It's like they've said, as soon as someone figures out how to work open source product without and turn it into a viable solution without having to add proprietary information on there, is going to be the richest man around. So that's what I'm trying to do. So the problem is like you're using AI and you're thinking, well, it's free to use, but there's proprietary information in there. And technically, if they want to yank any of your creative rights out from under you, they can. They can say, well, that was our AI that made it. We can show you the algorithm. I can tell you the exact date, bling, blang, bloom. So unless if you're showing that you're taking AI inspired, just like they do from other stuff, and then draw it yourself to learn, that's the only way around it, because that's yours. So, and you could say it's inspired. It was. There's legal terms would be able to work around it. So, all right, I spent so much time. It's 47, 44. And I guess I'll post both online on each to make a dot-to-dot connective access point between the two. So that'll be the bridge, and I won't continually go back and forth on that. We'll try to not waste space of free services provided online by reputable individuals. So, all right. With that being said, close out of everything. Get that out. All right. Okay, I just realized that you can't hear that because I have my headphones in. So Let me fix that. I made the corrective error. So to manipulate people. So that way I can do my thing. Trying to figure this out on how to do this right for this particular narrative trend. So, you can look at my feed, YouTube. You can look at anything I post on. And then begs the question, is he actually talking about himself? He has said throughout the time that he is not able to speak. 2, that he died before he was brought back to life. As a child, day 1. Being able to suck on a pacifier, which blew the nurses away. They couldn't figure it out. They thought it was amazing. They thought it was a miracle. So, and then, anyways, big shoes to fill from that as a child, knowing the unknowing and then unable to communicate it. How does one bridge that gap? How does one live life to the fullest, enjoying art, working the land, and providing for the family to make sure the entire family is taken care of? So, I'm schizoaffective undiagnosed at this point. I do know that I use movies as shorthands. I also can manipulate music and beats to articulate a feeling in someone else, as well as correlate an entire conversation from my head without having to think things through. I know when the song, the words, whatever. The fact of the matter is a lot of these new ones have new edits, new beats. After you pick up the first few whatever and understand the tone of the song, you're able to just flip forward to the right moment. Everyone has the capability of doing this, and they're doing it because we all learn this. So let me go ahead and play this, and then I'll discuss movies then. Let's talk about movies. I will go back to, well, my weight is 242, so let's go to 242 and hit play. Didn't know what to do, so it just stopped talking. So stop thinking that. So any normal, inquisitive, genius, scientist person would ask the question, is this the first time that's happened? So you check the database, you check the archives. Sure enough, there was another. Lasted for 33 years prior. 33. They found it in 1988. Just a year, right? Just a year. Anyways, this other star pulsated and hold on. Where's the same timing. Okay, so 1988. That's the year Lindsay Black was born. She's younger than I. She also does the same exact schizoaffective undiagnosed. Well, she's not diagnosed. I think she's manic or bipolar. So I forget what the labels are now. They've switched it. So, but anyways, that's who that is. The 1988. That was that reference. Same timing until it changed when they found the other one. Let me address wording on that one. So, to my understanding, and I'll have to reread the story, but 33 years, it beat I forget how many times I forget the numbers, but either 18 minutes or every 18 minutes, a certain amount of frequency. Just, okay. It's my cue. I do that every 18 minutes. Boom. This is what I'm supposed to do every 18 minutes, 33 fucking years. Then, and this was unbeknownst. They just thought it was an irregular. It was no big deal. Nothing happened. So, then they find this other one that actually slowed down its electromagnetic field and took a moment and pulsated a different beat than the prior one. Totally different, but illustrating that it had the same capabilities. Period. That's it. 3 months, and then it stopped. It changed. They then went back into the database to see if there was anything like this prior. Okay. That was the 33 marker before. Okay, there's two thoughts going through my head, and this is addressing the cadence. You're like, I'm trying to show you my process. I believe in I've hit a place to where it's technically not my property, so later legality could say, well, you did it on private property, they own a percentage. That's for later on. I'm not really concerned about that. Everyone's going to get paid. But there's a story that keeps popping in my head. It's like the toaster and the toothbrush. I've said it. I think it's on the Pornhub account. I'll have to find it. Or I could try it later in the thing, but I don't want to make a huge stink of it. But when you first start out, you're so excited that you hit the peaks, like the prime numbers, the needed information, and you miss the connective property. You're making assumptions sometimes. You're like, or you're just so excited that you're bouncing from one mountaintop to another, and you miss the details in the middle. You're like, how'd you get that path through the valley to get to the other peak? You're hitting these key terms, and sometimes, especially under Psych 101 delusion, you're not saying the term correctly, but you're like, this is the correct term. The ideology behind it, all this stuff. I just need more time, and that's what people say. Just let me have more time, more time. So I equate that to the cigarette thing. When you ask me for a cigarette, I say yes or no. That's it. All right. Do not tell me your problems. That's not what cigarettes are all about. It's for the nicotine. All right. If you want to talk about your problems, say, hey, can I talk with you a little bit? I like your style. I like how you talk. I like your logic sets. Now, this was all brought to terms most recently through a genius that I admit. And with that being said, there's different flares or frequencies of genius, but they all work on my team, and it made sense to me, so I'm able to translate that today. Now, those aren't my words, those aren't my ideas, but I'm stealing them, so it's theirs. Pay them later on, so pay respect. So, we all have this in us. It is electromagnetic radiation. All right, we have that code in us. That is been taught to us in some form or another throughout our lifetime. The numbers themselves vary. They tend to culminate in conspiracy or large concept ideas that branch off like a neuron. A centralized point. 33, 88, pi, tau, like chow, 2 times pi. You have E, lowercase e in mathematics. That's 2.7, 27. So it's just doing things over and over and over again. Everyone's got this radiation. Everyone understands the math. Everyone's trying to counteract this process of death from all this radioactive material that is changing our DNA, which ironically it can be an acronym or a word in reverse if you choose. And yes, I see what you're saying. And yes, I can do that. And yes, I will do that. Not today. There's nothing I can do today. But tomorrow, I have this amount of time. I will pencil you in. I will make sure it gets done. You will be priority number 3, but I will make sure it gets done. If there is an issue, I will call, but I will get it done. So, let me go ahead and continue playing. They don't know how to explain this. I definitely can't explain it. Because I have no proof, have no logic. Schizoaffective undiagnosed. I merely am piecing things together to manipulate people. So that way I can do my thing. I make sure my family's taken care of. Now, I've made many things apparent to you in audio form. All right, there's an actor who has a sister that basically culminated the 80s. Cusack. He was in a juror movie that I just watched after a nap, and then, after I uploaded this final recording that we're discussing about, I made lunch, mac and cheese, some fish, and I put some pepper flakes, butter, and I seasoned it. Anyways, ate it while I watched the movie. John Cusack, Runaway Jury, I think is the name of it. Anyways, like a neuron, that concept of John Cusack can now be branched off. This can carry into every single word, idea, piece of you that you have. Like a breath. It may start big. You look at everything. You breathe it all in. You then pick the most powerful thing that would allow you the most options possible. The least path of resistance. And then you have to rebuild your network off of that. So you figured that out. You understand. Breathe in, breathe out. Subconscious will make sure you are alive. You know how to slow down your electromagnetic energy and pulsate differently. To cue up other stars, entities, pieces of energy that can do the same. All right? We all know this. We've all done this throughout our life. We all thought we were the center of attention. Or we didn't, and we just didn't know how to piece things together. We all knew we were waiting for something. What that is, I don't know. I knew that I had to stop making the assumption that I didn't know you. Every person I meet, I assumed you had the exact same information I did. You just are stuck on a different neuron. Not neutron star or Jimmy Neutron. Or if you watch Runaway Jury, they did the Pledge of Allegiance to be patriotic back to elementary school. My dear Holmes. So, of which people that know me and my stories know my shortcuts. Even though you can piece together your own narrative from what I'm saying, mine are so direct to my people and indistinguishable from actual, documented history that I've put out. So it seems like I'm talking about movies, period. I am and I'm not. So, depending on which part of the brain I'm in. If I'm in one part of the brain, I can watch a movie. I see my equal, my other, every single second of every single word, color, portion of the film. It could be a single frame and only 3 pixels show up. I will always see my equal, just like you are. I am not your equal, though. Just trying to help out so I can be with my equal and then be whatever they tell me I need to be. So, let me go ahead and play and then I think, I'm not sure if I already said it, but they're here. All right, so, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's dash. And then what I've explained is I did a video like that to get Z, and then we break it off and readdress to 1944, which is Z. So this right here is your equal sign. I'll try to do it as best with the camera angle. Your thumb up here, your thumb down there. So we're removing that logic, and then we have our equal sign, which is 6, 1. So, well, it's backwards, but from the foundational point, 61. And then 61 times 2 is 122, which is back to your tiny z, which discusses the braces in between. So it's 1, 2, 3 times 2 is 6 with 2 90-degree markers. 1 and then 2. So it's 26 to get that shape. So I can do it many different ways and roll bounce you, but I'm trying to catch everyone up. What I found is like I've had, all right, so there's motorcycle, there's a color blue, and then now I'm understanding that mathematics in general is has been hidden from my logic circuit until I had a definable explanation that covers all 3. So, and it just blows my mind that my brain just kind of set this aside until someone said, hey, I've already got this figured out. Stop being a dumb turd that I've got to shine. So, which Mythbusters already did that, and they proved that you can do that. So, it's a step-by-step feasible solution. Sorry for making this longer than it has to be. I'm healing. I hope that others are seeing growth and understanding in themselves as well through my honesty and in comparison. I'll play it just to see. One, that if anyone fucks with you, I will make sure that they will live eternal whatever you desire, for them to understand they did you wrong. Same with any goes with my family. And that stories, internet feeds, all this stuff will start popping up to justify any narrative that you want to go down, to really mindfuck someone, to tell them to act right. So, I know why I can say that so confidently. Because literally, there's no new stories. There's only new experiences, new events. The story has been written day one, before we even signed up for this. And you're saying, well, I didn't sign up for it. I didn't choose to be born. I think the universe asked you way before you even knew. And you said, hell yeah, let's do this again. That was fun. I want to try a little different. I want to be a little better. I want to get more people on board. I want to do this faster. I want to, no, you don't know. And I don't know. So we have to talk to each other in a manner that we know, okay? And that is and it's not hard, but there's always a right way. Now, everyone thinks they're doing the right thing. Being very general, yet specific, is very easy. It is not difficult. Do not get frustrated. Learn to bottle your emotional energy just a hint. Be polite to excuse yourself out the door when it gets too much. If someone is asking you if something is wrong, what is it? Be very specific and then overload them with everything that pops into your head immediately, allowing them the opportunity and the definition. I need to process real quick a bunch of information. I'm going to shoot out information, take down what you can, leave the rest. I don't care. These are the memories that are popping up. I don't know how they correlate. I'm just going to spew them out. Boom, 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 boom. All right. I don't want to talk about that again. I'm going to try to work on me and processing my emotional pulses that I send out into the universe. Because yes, you are a star. You are a bottle of energy that pulsates in specific radiuses. Now, I can't go into scientific stuff. All right.
I don't know, actually. I made the assumption that you had patterns that you had picked up from priors. Okay? I'm going to keep it that simple, that elegant. And that I needed to continue my story of which you've known, and paint in pieces of which I was shut down many times and basically given the story back, which crushed me, which is, not my first time. I have said 20 years. I've also said ignore the age, and I gave an older year, but now this one is pretty much solid. 33 years. I also gave a personal story to you. I'm not sure if it was written or texted or just told to you that I can't explain how, but we spoke somewhere else on another plane that can't be talked about or explained because we just don't know. And we won't. We don't have a long enough lifetime to explain it. That we are infinite based on our understanding. You?
Opportunities. Discussing movies as shorthands. Stories from other individuals. Retelling the better parts of the stories. Acknowledging to specific individuals one-on-one the delicacies and the pain and suffering. So that way you know who can handle your stuff. Because that next person, if they're the right person, will then stand still. Let you pulsate until it's out of your system. That next person will then queue up their people that they know speaks their language and has for some time. And then allow the other person to figure their pulsating out. And then those other stars will understand what was the irregularity in that frequency that they've been feeling all these years. It's that strong, shorthand, powerful pulse that changed the world. 3 months, they stated. But that goes back to the 3-3-3 rule in zombie apocalypse or survival, whatever. We know this, but it's the concept underlying that whole thing. It's the fact that
me, we do this all the time. We do this every time. It's you and me every time. And whoever you choose.
That's right. Whoever you choose will be yours. If you do right by everyone. Now, there's the problem during the re-identification of each individual frequency or pulse and speed at which one is trying to articulate their imagined history or future, depending on your perception. I call them dreamed realities. So, anything you dream
if you put in the work, not just biding your time, but pushing forward, forging a new path, you will get what you want. And I'm speaking with medication in my system still. So it is not able to articulate as clearly as I know I can. As everyone has an inhibitory factor in their system.
Okay, this one is a belief system that I've got. Let me go ahead and look. All right. So the deal is like medication changes the frequency. That's understood. Or the thought process, the electrodes, where it's able to travel in the brain, we still don't know, and it is constantly evolving and changing. Think of it like this. All right, everyone that takes, it's like the nerve movie aspect. If you get above 50% on a certain frequency, certain brain function, certain chemical, you're able to navigate that pool of information. So it's like metadata. So you label something, it becomes that. Now, you are now labeled as that. Don Torres has brought this up multiple times. It's a give and take, and it's kind of hard to translate. But what I'm saying is, once you give me a new medication, I'm placed in a pool of everyone in there, and then I've got to reorganize my thought structure so that way they can understand, and then pull them into the loop and translate that. They're like, that's not how medicine works. I'm like, well, okay, magic can be defined however I see fit to make sure that I'm able to come back to myself and not live lies. That's what it comes down to. So it's my truth, all right? And I'm going to find as many people's truths as possible that work with me, and then eventually it'll radiate out, and then I won't need the medication anymore. I will know how to translate if I'm required to be on that, but with the new tropics and stuff, I know I'm going to be able to amplitude to a point to circumvent any situation. So that's me personally. So I don't know if you're able to do that or what have you. It's a learned process that I need to do because I'm going to lose my memory. And the reason why I'm going to lose my memory because I'm rewriting it every moment, every second. So that way my people get their dreams met. So future, past, whatever it was, those inklings that stick with them throughout life, we will get that bucket list and just protocols and procedure it down. So I love you. I'm going to try to stay quiet for the next 27 minutes. This is outrageous.
They have these lists of things that they know are restrictions, but they want those restrictions by them at this moment, so that way they can step forward and forge that new path to show everyone it can happen for you as well. I've been there, or I know someone that definitely has been there and has made its way out. Things aren't different. They're the same. We have, I don't know whether there's going to be advances in medical technology, but we have a few hundred years on this planet, maximum, as short as one day. We don't know. So try to be a part of a positive community in the best way possible, and keep fighting to be more likely as a unique star in an orchestra of, I don't know, a symphonic song. All right. Mustang. That's a nice Mustang. Classic. Your miracles. Don't know if they vary every time. Well, it's definitely the story. What I'm saying is, of which those fake rocks, throw the blocks in and stuff. Obviously, I'm a toaster in that, because I'm just a ball of feet. So I try to make things warm and happy. And with that, people may not understand that story. So I was dating this one girl like a long, long time ago. Oh my goodness, like, whoo. Oh. Anyway, so I have my soulmate in mind, always have. And everyone keeps saying they're my soulmate. So I would tell them my soulmate stories. Now, they vary and they get stronger with each new relationship I have. And I don't mean just sexual relationships. I mean just relationships. The more pure love and energy I find, the easier it is to articulate a story. Because you have new events, new dreams from other people, and you're like, I like that little twist on that. You know what? I'm going to throw that into this mix. This one in particular, though, during a huge psychosis, wasn't able to talk. So this was me. This is my dream. I stated, I know you're my one. I'm not going to argue with you on this. This is why. There was this time I lived a life as a toaster. Every day, I would have different things rammed into me. Front, back, doesn't matter. I had one job, warm it up, make sure it was nice and toasty for the person that inserted it into me, okay? Could be taken many different ways depending on your age. If you're too young to understand, don't ask questions yet. And let your parents look at each other like, wow, I'm not sure if they should be listening to this. It's okay. Because one morning, the alarm didn't go off. And this gentleman was late for work. So he is rushing around, he's grabbing stuff. The toaster's like, what? I have one job to do in this house. For 5, depending on what you put into me, 3 to 5 minutes. Now, where are you? And he's tied, he sees the guy combing his hair, and then in the thing, in the kitchen, egg. Wait, no, it wasn't an egg. I ate an egg McMuffin. No, I ate a sausage McMuffin today. Anyways, put a McMuffin into the toaster. The toaster had another thing he didn't know that he could do. It was a metal toaster. Did you know that? Reflective surface. He noticed that the person that placed the egg McMuffin, I'm going to just keep saying egg McMuffin, the English muffin into the toaster is now looking at him differently. And he's got this thing in his mouth where the toast that I make goes. And it is just making this, and he's just ramming it all over the place in his mouth. It was the coolest experience that I, as a toaster, have ever had. That gave me new purpose, new life in that moment. Knowing that those little just errors that happen are opportunities for a new purpose in life that someone hasn't told you you have. But I forgot about the purpose. I wanted to know more about the purpose of that vibrating thing in his mouth. So, I couldn't tell you how long it was because I don't know time as a toaster. Don't have a watch. All I have is a metal coil inside that it only works if you plug it in to the wall to get electricity. So I wait. Days, months, years, I don't know. And then I am anticipating. I don't hear anything. The sun's up, traffic's out, something's wrong. Then it happens again. This time, my prayers are answered. Again, this time a bagel. You adjust the size settings, needs a little, just a light toast so that the way the cream cheese melts. I understand the process. I know how, to heat things up so that way they taste good in the mouth. But this time, as he's placing on the cream cheese, he leaves that device right next to me. He grabs the bagel, tightens his tie, and leaves. I was nervous. I'm like, how do I talk to something that I've never seen before in my life? Only once, that blew my mind and allowed me to see the world in a different way. So I'm just like, hey, I eat things with my mouth. And my name is Toaster, I guess. I don't know, they haven't called me anything else. So, conversation ensues. Delightful was that toothbrush. Very beautiful voice. Very confused at the way I talked. Didn't understand anything I had to say, but really enjoyed the conversation. I did ask about the vibrating noise, and she explained her process. So, I clean mouths. I make sure they're clean because what you make makes people dirty. It makes their teeth rot sometimes. I clean that. I have toothpaste as a friend in the other room. And then obviously water. I'm like, what's water? Can I have some water? No. I don't think that's a good idea because you'll heat it up too hot and then we're back to square one. Okay. Well, I'm sorry that you got left here, but it was nice to meet you. I hope I get to see you again. Well, Toaster, I'm going to tell Toothpaste and Water about you, and we'll see what we think, okay? Okay. And if we see again, I'm going to tell you some stories about myself and my friends. So, that's that story. Different reality, still me, still my polar opposite, who's my equal, does the same thing for the same parts as I do. Make things clean and warm, so that way you can radiate that sparkly white smile. And be healthy, obviously. But didn't know my world even existed until I saw that alarm not pop on right. And everyone went chaotic. But I saw my equal. The one that I've been waiting for my entire life. So, you can check the facts and data. I'm going to email you the information. And whether you want to accept that as yours, it's completely up to you. But each story is not going to stop. Because I know you chose. You chose me somehow. I don't know how to explain that logically. I do know when I first saw you, 2018, I believe. You can check the star data to see what happened with that. I read the National Geographic story on it. The one thing I want to say during that is that not everything has to be used. You can save things sometimes, and you can say no to other things. It's okay. They're there as an option to broaden your communicative experience with another individual. That's it. That's all you need to know. You wait for another individual to spark that memory, and then you say, hey, don't just jump right into it unless you have that experience with them. Bridge it into there. See if they have a similar story, and then just say, hey, I just read this, It's kind of a coincidence. Don't say coincidence all the time, but, isn't that strange how the world is? And then you see their body language. You learn
that feeling that they're pulsating. They're like, "Ooh," or "Not now." So learn that in yourself, and it's easier to have open communication with individuals you don't know.
Of which I think the pulsating one for 33 years actually changed its rate at which it called out from 18 minutes to 22.
Good call.
So
Mustang drove back by last numbers are 133.
Things you can't explain. So things of knowing, just knowing, and you don't want to ruin the surprise or change someone else's opinion and force a perception on them. It's up to them to decide whether for 3 months.
It's called a kit car. That's the word I was looking for.
And themselves. And then it stopped.
I don't think that was. I think that was the original. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to identify it without driving.
You're wrong. This is not okay. I just can't. So. But in essence, we're all telling the same story. So this is not just about you and me or those two infinite life cycles of stars that keep talking to each other. Everyone has this exact same narrative in them with their one. I know that, you know that.
And suspending your disbelief, this, whatever it was, from my English teacher, female.
Okay, before that, there's definitely 3 layers, if not more. There's the recording that I'm playing, and you can see. There's the little dot in the corner. I'm not sure if it's still there. I got light shining in my eyes off the screen. And then the square is 3 definite layers. But the one thing I want to discuss about the stars is there's that back in the day with not the digital channel airwave stuff, but the I think ASN, whatever. It's the older one that had the clock dial, turn knob system, very analog. That snow that played, that was picked up after the channel would go to sleep, and didn't have programming, which they later started putting like infomercials in there, thanks to CBS, their business model, to keep constant stream of information going. So you didn't see that snow that popped up. But back in the day, that snow, those little flecks, that the black and white that happened on the screen was from a radiation from the stars. Their conversation coalesced into one that hit that particular frequency that you had on the antenna and translated into a visual image on your television. So you can look that up. That's a fact. So they phased that out and went to digital communication because it was fine-tuned, because they didn't want, in my personal belief, is because they didn't want to get one specific star's conversation spread throughout everyone as the dominant whatever, depending on what channel you're on. So yeah, but that would be cool if you could speak with the star, or at least listen. So and then radiate out to the next one, so that way in the next perceived reality story narrative told, you guys can have a logical conversation. So at first they were talking to you, and then all of a sudden you're talking out loud, like you see in a lot of psychosis patients, is now having a closed loop conversation. So it's just catching someone up, said, "Hey, remember me? All right, let's see what we can manipulate during this time." Now the stars live a lot longer than us, so this is an easy concept that can be described in fairy tales, fantasy. And I don't want to throw in sci-fi because that's the mathematics, but I found out today once again that someone owns that, like the whole group. So it's kind of hard for me to describe that. So I'm just an interpreter, a compiler of words, so that way it can translate these different geniuses that are female embodiments. So, because that's my job. I get all the women. Whoa, man. No, we don't play like that. It's all women. So, all right. We got a little bit longer. We'll just try to keep my mouth shut.
No, I think 7th grade. Because 6th grade was my first year. I think that was the first year. Either 6th or 7th grade. And it didn't matter. Didn't have orangutan tits. There's only a few people that understand that reference. Same personality. Like, no, you're fucking wrong. I know my shit. You're not explaining it. You're jealous, or something's gone in your personal life and you're taking it out on me. Ain't gonna happen anymore. Send me to the fucking office. I'm not gonna make you cry. That's not how I do. I will go to your boss and they will make it right. And then you'll be like, well, what happened? Yeah, we're not talking about it. He handled the situation. All right? Because we're not talking about it. We're not going to deal with it. He said he didn't want to fuck up your life.
And I have a hard time when individuals get stuck in the middle because they think their story is our story. Because you listen and you become what they want. People that do right do that. And forget that there is actually one person whose sole purpose was to take care of it. They want. No questions asked. That is what they knew. That's what they've been told every single moment of their life. It'll make sense. Suspend your disbelief. No, not this time. I'm going to explain it all the way fucking through so everyone understands. Self-correcting. I know I overstep. I know you listen. I know others help out amazingly and then deny every fucking time. No. And then they fucking lie to my face. It's fine. It's fine. Because they know my pattern. They know my pulsating beat. They understand that
if they need me to act like someone else as a springboard to have an open conversation with someone else, I will always do that. Past, present, or future, fictional, whatever. I am that guy. I do that. I've always done that because I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to be other ways. I slow down my frequency to find yours. Then body language immediately after that. Then I allow you to talk. Then I say, it's going to be all right. They're fine. They're fine. If you want me to talk to them, I can do that. If you trust me, let me do my thing. I will handle the situation. You did not do wrong. You said your honest truth. And it's hard right now. But they're okay. They're finding themselves. Let them be. It's okay. One day, not suspending your disbelief, but forging a path, we as a group will be back together. In some form or another, however you want it. That's what I've hopefully been saying this entire time. And now am able to call myself out on it. So, thank you for allowing me time. I'm done with time. I am stuck. Forever. I need to be told what to do from this point forward. I'm broke. I don't have money at all. I technically don't have food, and I will be out of gas in approximately, 25 to 28 miles possibly, because I need to change my oil and take care of my car. But that's my personal stuff that I'm not going to tell anyone. So, because I know if I have to park my car somewhere so I can sleep, I can do that. I just have to find a spot that is remote so I don't get called. I had the cops called on me again.
They have to find their pulsating beat. A few degrees off, still the same. So, and in time, hopefully, they will have a story all of their own that will pale in comparison to any other. Their own life, their own piece, their own book, entertainment piece that they actually got to live and appreciate, especially once someone spelled it out for them. So, I love you.
A, B, C, D, F, U. And your dog. No, that's not how it goes. How does it go?
Count to survive.
Music. Music make me lose control. Music make me lose control. It's up. The most important song at this moment and forever is not Toto Africa. That was overplayed. Too many whatever references. It is Moo, Doja Cat.
And this is to everyone that's confusing themselves. If you're with someone,
That cow has one job. It does it as many times as it needs to. Because that farmer needs a tit in their hand. Of which UK has their own definition for that. It's people being a moron. So, okay. Little rodeo, little clown in the barrel. Fish in a barrel, baby.
with someone, and it doesn't feel right, be honest with them 100%. Let them know I don't think this is going to happen. I have someone else in mind. Or this other person is already taken, but I prefer how they treat their woman. So, take note, figure out a way to do your own thing, but appreciate me like they do theirs. So, and I will do the same for you. Honesty 101. Love you. Bye.
All right. Movie references. We've got Back to the Future, 88. 33, you could do National Treasure. I already said Runaway Jury. The Brave Little Toaster is a kid's reference. I don't know. There's a bunch of different. Luck. If you want to look at a movie that is like saddening and disheartening and makes you cry as an adult, and kids are like, "Oh, that's sad." They'll say that, and then you're like, "You don't understand." Luck. I stay away from Apple because Apple isn't what it used to be. I was raised on an Apple II, didn't know how to use it, was astonished by my grandmother's typing skills. Like, she could type fast, and she typed my homework for me all the fucking time. So she's like, write it up so I can read it, though. I think that at that point, she liked the creativity of how I explained it. She's like, what did you write here? How do you want me? I'm like, here, write it like this. She's like, oh, that's cute. I'll add a little something to it. We'll get it done. I'm like, all right, Grandma, you're awesome. Then Windows came in, then World of Warcraft 2. So, where you just press the sheep over and over and over again, and finally they start saying crazy shit. Awesome. All right. And then there's like Aviator stuff that you would do with DOS. You tried to port all those games, but they never worked right. You didn't have the right drivers and stuff. And then you would get the additional like joysticks and flight controls, whatever. And you modify it, and then it's just like, but I still have a dot matrix printer that goes pawns it across the paper. You're like, we need to update the printer. We need to stop getting all this other fun tech shit to keep me busy. I want to print some stuff out. So that way I can bring it to school and it doesn't look like I'm from, 1979? Anyways. The other game, I would say PlayStation. There's 2 games on PlayStation I would like to reference. There's actually 3. There's the new movie, the Metal whatever, the auto racing one I played forever. But there's a video game called Driver on PlayStation. And the other one well, obviously Mortal Kombat, I think 2 as well. Not Mortal Kombat. I don't know, is it a fighter game with the capoeira kick fighter guy? Anyways, and then now I'm not going to be able to remember the other game. Oh, Grand Theft Auto 2. So, Grand Theft Auto 2, I played, and then I played decades later, and then after that, just ported it over to the PC like before. Got a PlayStation 2 controller, brought it back. But remembering every single in the map. So, and then I'm like, I could do that with my memory. So, just piece all those cue idea codes into my memory. And then do the same map. And then just replay it over and over again when I get in a boring conversation. So that way I can give them a fun story or a challenge, like, let's go do this. You thought about it, let's do it. So how much, you're not going to get money from it like you do in a video game, but you will get experience points, of which that you can tell other people and possibly get a free beer later on or a pack of smokes or whatever. So in essence, you are getting money. So the more fun you have and the more clean, whatever, not just I can do this. I did this horrible thing. No. I had this adventure. There was a lot of twists and turns, but we didn't get anything accomplished, and it was an awesome shared event type deal. Or you did get a bunch of stuff accomplished, but you learned more about yourself. So, I'm not working. And I think that's my cue. That's my time to go to Walmart and upload this. So, the motorcycle gang's coming into town. He's entering in that circle dome. It's a little sphere. Oh no, there's the second motorcycle going in there. Are they going to hit when they? No. Yes, I went to the ballpark at one point to watch the circus, and they did that. Did a bunch of stuff. So, thanks, Grandma. Thanks, family. Thank you for listening. And thank your family for allowing you to get to this point to hear my voice. They're amazing. They tried to get you here. And tell them, no, I'm not suspending my disbelief anymore. You explain what you're saying. No, I don't know. Fuck off. If you're going to pull that, there's so many variations of the thing. Whatever pisses you off, and there's a stair step of it. You'll start knocking them out. You're like, I don't like that either. You tell me. All right? Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to accomplish anything because I don't know. I don't know how to do me when you're like that. Okay? Love you. I love you all. Talk to you later. Boo, orangutan tits. All right, bye. Moo. Moo. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow.
That's because I get milked all the time. Anyways, the game was Tekken 2 and Tekken 1 on the PlayStation. There's something else. So this is the third layer. What I'm going to do in the description, I'm going to post this actually in a new post and write cascading rippled link for this video. And then in this description of this video, I'm going to put original recording, 2 layers, less background noise. And then I'm going to do the prior post prior to the one I'm posting as a post up. So that way you have that cascading outward neuron thing. And then I'm going to apply laugh out loud water because I discussed the toaster thing. So, and you don't put water in toast. That's not how you heat up water. Lot to process there. I got a cash out. Oh my God. All right. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.